Hi everyone, welcome to practical SOC training course. So this is a scenario one. So as we already know about exactly what are things we're going to cover, this is the first scenario that we have, which is blue team scenario one, initial access. So this is the current role and scenario that we need to achieve in a lab. So there's a specific lab where everything is set up so that you'll be having a practical learning, right? So first, you are a system administrator for an e-commerce company specialized in artistic photography, and you are inherited responsibility for managing and securing a Ubuntu server hosting, which is a WordPress website. So basically, recently a network activity has been raised concern about the potential security breaches, and your immediate task is to perform an initial access to identify running services, evaluate system performance, and analyze logs for the possible vulnerabilities and exploitation attempts. So this is the exactly scenario that we have right now. So that is what we are going to perform in this course in this video, right? So this is a very basic video. This is the first scenario video. So this is the objective that we need to achieve. You're going to get in the last of this video. So by the end of the video, end of the lab, you will learn all those things, right? So first, you will identify infrastructure services and open ports using Nmap. Second, you will determine version of running services on a Linux machine. So this is very much essential when you are working as a SOC analyst, when you're working as a blue teamer. There are a couple of things which is very much important to learn, right? Then you'll know about identifying technologies, which is having the web application that we have in this lab. And then you will analyze the Apache log to identify suspicious activity and exploitations attempt. For example, SQL injection. This is what we're going to do. So let's get in the lab. So hi, this is the Linux machine that we have, which is probably the very well Kali. We always use this one. So let me make it little bit minimized. Okay, so it's yeah. So this is the Kali terminal that we have, and this is the lab that we have right now, where we are going to perform each and everything, right? So first, as I told you, what we need to achieve, you have gone through with the things, right? So we have IP address, right? So IP address for the website is I hope you know how to find IP address of website. If you want to know what is the IP address of Google, you will simply do ping google.com, and as I repeat, this is for educational purpose only. So when you ping, it will show you the IP address of the website, which is 192.179.155.102. If you want to verify, what you can do, you can open any of the browser, whatever you have. Okay, and it's opening right now. So you can enter up the IP address right here, 192.178.155.102. So when you enter, there will be website will be loaded, which will be of Google, right? So this is how you can find the website which is behind the IP address and IP address of website. This is very simple, right? Now let's get to the topic. So in first we'll be doing a scanning part. So as always, whenever you get a target, you should first start with the scanning part, right? So we have IP address. Let me clear out the screen. So the IP address is 192.168.1.100. So just consider this as a black box testing. We are just testing a website which is not having access with us. So, and this is in lab. So this is practical based scenario. So as I just enter the IP address, which is for storing like what exactly. So we'll be having into the mind. So first we'll in this lab, first we'll conduct an initial assessment to identify the open ports, whatever we have on the website, right? And this is going to be the version and analysis of the server log in the last, right? So let's scan with the basic scan. So first what we'll do, we'll start with the nmap, which is a port scanner. It will tell you what port exactly is open, right? What are services, what are the versions that we have. So nmap then simply will put the IP address 192.168.1.100, right? Let me enter. So you'll see there are three ports are open. So it will filter out the top 1000 ports right now. Okay, so this is very much handy information. So you will see like three ports are open, 22, which is TCP, 80 TCP and 9090 which is TCP. So open. First is SSH is running. Second is HTTP, which is probably a website, and then Zeus admin, right? So this is what we have. So now tell me what are the ports which is open. Very simple, 22, 80, 90, 90, right? So now let's move to the next part. Like we got to know exactly what are the ports that we have. Now what to do, right? Now we'll be doing a little advanced scan, right? So again we are taking help of nmap. So here we are going to utilize the enhanced nmap scan to determine the version of the services which is running. As you can see, so we need to check out what are the versions of the services is running, right? So what we'll do, we'll again use nmap. Then it will require sudo, right? Sudo is super user. So when you do some complicated things, it required a super user permission, right? So you will enter sudo, then nmap, then service which are running, which is -s, capital S, and then if you want, you can check out the version which is running of the services. So we just use the two flags, -ss and -sv, right, which is for the service and this is for the version. And then simply you need to enter up the IP address 192.168.1.100. So I want to specify the port. I don't want it to scan entire thing because it will take a lot of time. So I just specify ports. So I'll use -p. I need to scan two ports, which is useful, SSH and HTTP, because using SSH you can take access, remote access of a CLI where the website is running, and HTTP is basically for the server, right, where the website is running, right? So we'll know exactly what our server is there, what is the version, and what is the SSH version as well, right? So -p, and then you'll need to specify the port number. In our case we have 22 comma 80, right? Two ports we want to scan, 22 and 80. Then enter up. Then in my case password is, I need to check out the password. Password is probably, uh, if I'm not wrong, yes, the password is correct. So it's scanning, it's taking a little bit time. Okay, so here you can see very handy information we have. It took around 0.0, this is latency. So I'll give you a small heading information. This is what when we have a scan, and this is a time actually, and this is nmap scan, so obviously it will show you the version and nmap what we are using. So port number 22 and 80 is open. As I told you, we have specified here that we just want to scan two ports, HTTP SSH. So we can see Open SSH is running on SSH port number 22, which is 8.2 P1. So P1 8.2 P1 is the version, and then we have on HTTP we have Apache server, which is HTTPD 2.4.41. We have Ubuntu, which is running on the server, right? So this is what we have. Now if someone will ask you what are the version of the running ports, then for SSH we have 8.2 P1, right? And for HTTP we have HTTPD 2.4.41, right? That's what we have. We have gone through the advanced scan, and then now what we need to do, we need to investigate the e-commerce, right? So for that we need to visit the website. As I told you, HTTP is running, so probably it's a website. So we need to proceed with accessing the web services which is hosted on the machine, right? So we need to open the Google Chrome. At first we have already here the tab. So I need to enter up the IP address what we had first. It's running HTTP. So // 192.168.1.100, right? So let me enter up. So you'll see a website is there, right? As I told you, HTTP is running, so there's a website, and this is WordPress. You can see a logo here, right? Now if you want to identify the technology, what is the technology which is being used in backend, right? How to know? Okay, that is very much important part. If you're working as a blue teamer, then there is a very sleeky and very informative tool which is called Webalizer. So here I have already installed. If you want to install, you can directly go on plugin. Okay, here you can find the plugin section, extensions, right? Manage extension, and then you can search out Vapalizer, right? So you'll simply type out, if you'll enter, you'll see here, and you'll get option to install. In my case, I've already installed, so you'll not see the same interface. Okay, so we are here, right? Now we need to identify the technology what are being used. So we'll simply click here, but make sure not always it's correct, right? But in some scenario there maybe a honeypot, so you'll not see exactly what are things which is running. So you can see CMS is WordPress. This is version 6.8.2. Web server is Apache HTTP 2.4.41. PHP is there. WooCommerce is there, which is basically a thing which is running the entire backend of a e-commerce website WordPress. Blogs, and we have operating system Ubuntu, as I already told you. MySQL is the database that we're using. YouTube Play and all those blah 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 is there, right? Now the question is, which technology and plugins powered e-commerce applications, right? So which one? This one, e-commerce, WooCommerce, right? So this is what we have gone through the technologies. So we have all this information, right? What are things which is running? So, but in our case, we have scenarios, right? There was a 10 network activity, so we need to analyze the what exactly had done. So we need to check out the logs as well, so that we can recommend the developers what are the things you need to do. So what we need to do, right? We need to check the logs. So as we have gone through this SSH, right? SSH was open. So if you want to connect with any of the SSH server, so we can do uh, try out the command SSH. Okay, and username is Ubuntu. As I already know, I asked from the website owner. Okay, so he just sent me these credentials 192.168. So make sure blue teaming and red teaming both thing are different. Red teaming is basically the offensive field, right? And blue teaming is defensive. So in blue teaming, you can ask for the credentials from the administrators. So in my case, the IP is 192.168.1.100, right? So this is how you can log in with SSH. When you enter, just click yes, and then you need to enter up the password. In my case, password is password and this line, right? You can't see password because Linux is kind of, it usually don't show you exactly what are things we have in the backend. Let me clear out the screen so that you will be having good interface. Yes. Now, what we need to do, where we can check the logs. So as I told you, there is a Apache server which is running. So you can check the Apache logs, right? So right now we have insider hosting, right? So where the website and everything is hosted. So you can check the logs. If you have terminal access, you can check everything, right? So how can check the logs? You need to check out the Apache directory. Apache 2 is running actually. So just check out ls, right? Ls is listing. So where the things is having, we need to go inside ls, where we have in the, we need to go in root at first, cd slash, right? We are in root, then we need to go to cd var, right? Then you are in var variable sections. It's basically probably what you can see. Then you can go into logs. Then you inside log there is a directory which is called Apache 2, right? So as Apache is running, so you can see this part. Now clear gisting. If you'll enter ls, then you can see a lot of log file. Like, so how to open a log file? Okay, so I'll tell you. So we have, how many logs file are there? There are these are error logs. Basically, if any error occurs on your website, this is there. This is access logs, and this is actually the error log again. So our main things that we need to find out is other vhost access logs, right? So let me check. If you want to check, then type cat other vhost access dot log dot one. This is how you can see inside a directory, right? Now what to do, right? If you want to check, so this is logs actually, just check it out. if you can see anything suspicious. There's a lot of tools that we have which you can use to analyze the logs, but in my case I'm not going to use any tool. I'll show you exactly how to do manually. So you can see there is some sort of get request which is probably theme generation, so blah blah blah. So we can't see anything fruitful here. So we can't see anything fruitful here. So let me clear out the screen. Then let's check in another log file, which is this one, cat other vhosts underscore access dot log, right? So again, we have a lot of queries which is logged here, but not much thing is good, right? Safari browser is being used. So they are capturing user agents, right? If Firefox is being used to access the website. So probably let's see the last block, if anything is in the last block. So here the scenarios, how to unlock, unzip, right? So in our case, we have extension gz. So if there will be zip file, like, so we can use the command unzip. But in our case, there is gz, so unzip is not going to work. So we need to use gunzip. Okay, so we want to gunzip log3. So let's say other underscore vhosts access dot log dot 3 dot gz, right? So sudo su. Oh, so I've entered up. I just gone to with the super user. I have a lot of power right now. So yes, so we are the super user right now. So we were unzipping the file 3, right? So gunzip other v host access dot log dot 3 dot gz, right? So you can see the it has been unzipped, right? So this is how you can unzip. If you want to see what you need to do, you need to just do the cat of no jesus should be there because it's not an extension anymore. So you can see a lot of things are there, right? So it's 1 equals to 1 parameter is being used. Okay, one dash dash. So usually what happen whenever you want to log in any cpan, if there is a sql injection vulnerability, then what happens when you wants to log in, then you need to just certify the conditions, right? In the first parameter, like username and password, you need to certify it. So I'll show you here. See, if there is username section here and this is the password section here, then if it's true, then it will log in. So if you click 1 equals to 1, it will just tell, yeah, it's true, you need to log in. So this is what people are using. So there's a multiple things. So here you can see one dash dash is used. So probably there might be a SQL injection stuffs uh, performed there. NSC is being used and all those things. This is the get request, post request. Just research about what is get and post. So this is probably a SQL injection, right? And you can see the Python version as well. So the one challenge that we had in this scenario is, right, as I shown you one more thing, there are multiple files, right? So upon reviewing these initial entries within the other vhost log file that we have in 3, so this we have observed that there is the e-commerce website and SQL injection was performed probably, and there was a request which was attempted using Python, right? So you can see Python equals 2.31.0 is the version which was used to attempt, right? So make sure whenever you analyze the log, you unzip all the file and check out what are things possible you can see. In my case scenario, I just got in conclusion it was a SQL injection and Python version is used. Python is used to request the things, right? So I'll just what Python version is used. It's 2.31.0. Okay, so that's what we have in this lab, right? So I hope you have learned a lot of things. So this was the initial assessment. So we have got to know how to find out the port which is open, what are services which is being running, what are the versions of services which is running, what are the services which is used, right? which service is being used, and another last thing is how to investigate a logs file, right? We have gone through the SQL injection things are there, and next thing was there was SQL injection performed, and last thing was Python. What it was used? So it was Python request functionality which was used, probably a library. So that's what we have in this video, initial access. Let's see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Jai.